A man learns to recognize the small things, the way a woman hesitates before speaking, the way her phone screen tilts away when you walk by, the way she suddenly starts going to the gym when she never cared before, the way she starts dressing up even when she says she's just running errands. I should have seen it coming. But after 25 years of marriage, you start telling yourself lies. She's just stressed. It's just a phase. We'll be fine. But deep down, I knew I'm not the kind of man who begs. I never have been. I built my business from the ground up, made a name for myself, and provided a damn good life for my family. A big house, private schools for the kids, exotic vacations. My wife never had to work a day after we got married. She had the freedom to do whatever she wanted. And for a long time, I thought she was happy. Then, about 6 months ago, something changed. At first, it was subtle. She was always on her phone, but she'd snap at me if I asked who she was texting. Her laughter had a different tone, not the kind that came from inside jokes we had built over decades, but something fresher, something I wasn't a part of. I started coming home to an empty house more often. Dinner wasn't waiting for me like before, and the bedroom, cold, distant. I knew something was off, but I didn't push, yet. Then last week, she hit me with the invitation. "Let's go out for our anniversary," she said, twirling her wedding ring absent-mindedly. "There's something I want to tell you, a surprise." The way she said it made my stomach twist. Her voice was too calm, too rehearsed. That night I barely slept. I laid in bed beside her, listening to her even breathing, knowing that whatever she had planned, it wasn't going to be good. But she thought I was blind, thought I was weak. She forgot who the fucking she was married to. I let her play her little game. I arrived at the restaurant exactly on time. A high-end place, dim lighting, candlelit tables, expensive wine glasses. She had already booked a private booth in the back. When I walked in, my eyes locked on her immediately. And then I saw him, my best friend, the man who had stood beside me at our wedding 25 years ago, the man who had held my children when they were born, the man I trusted. He was sitting beside her, too close. His hand rested casually on the table, inches from hers, and when he looked up at me, there wasn't a trace of guilt in his fucking eyes. "Happy anniversary," she said sweetly, sliding a stack of papers across the table. I didn't sit. I didn't touch them. I just stared at her. She smiled, a cold, victorious smile. "I don't need you anymore," she said, her voice smooth, rehearsed. "I'm leaving with him. You can keep the kids. Don't ever call me." My jaw clenched so hard I thought my teeth might crack. I looked at the papers. Divorce. Everything already filled out, just waiting for my signature. She must have been planning this for months. She reached for her purse. "Come on, baby," she purred to him. "Let's go." I let out a slow breath. Then I pulled out my trump card. The moment her eyes landed on it, all the color drained from her face. Her lips parted, but no sound came out. Her knees buckled and she collapsed into the chair, hands trembling. And then it happened. I watched her face drain of blood, her hands gripping the edge of the table like she might fall over. My best friend, ex-best friend, shifted beside her, glancing between us, confused. He didn't know yet, but I wasn't ready to play my final move. Not yet. Let her fucking stew in it. I leaned back in my chair, stretching my fingers before clenching them into fists. My heartbeat was steady, my breathing calm. Anger wasn't something that controlled me. I wielded it like a weapon. She should have known that. We weren't some weak, happy-go-lucky couple that got married on a whim. We had a history. I met her when I was 22. I was a broke fighter, barely scraping by, taking underground matches for cash while I built my real career. Back then, I was rough around the edges, cocky, aggressive, fearless. And she? She was the kind of girl you fight wars for. Gorgeous, confident, with a sharp tongue that cut through bullseye like a knife. I had to chase her, hard. She wasn't the type to be impressed by money, probably because she came from it. Rich parents, private schools, the kind of life where everything was handed to her. But she liked danger. She liked me. For years, I gave her everything. Worked my ace off to make something of myself, built a company from the ground up, turned street fights into a multi-million-dollar security business. I gave her the kind of life she deserved, put her in the finest house, the best cars, luxury vacations. And when we had kids, I fucking worshipped them. Our son was 20 now, smart, strong, a natural leader. He was studying business, preparing to take over my company one day. Our daughter was 18, an artist, rebellious but sharp as hell. I raised them to be warriors in their own ways, and now she wanted to walk away, just toss it all in the trash like none of it mattered? With him? I shifted my gaze to the traitor beside her. He still hadn't figured it out yet. Stupid biatsetid. I should have noticed the warning signs. Over the last year, he was around more than usual, hanging out at my house, always asking where she was, making excuses to stop by. I thought he was just being a friend, but he was waiting, plotting. And now he had the nerve to sit here, smirking, acting like he had won. I exhaled slowly through my nose. This wasn't his victory. Nothing to say? She finally croaked, her voice unsteady. She was still staring at the document in my hand. I smirked. Good. Let the fear settle in. But before I could respond, the bastard beside her chuckled. Come on, man, he said, shaking his head. Don't make this harder than it has to be. I turned my head slowly to him, feeling my muscles coil tight. He thought this was over, thought I'd sign those papers and let them walk out together just like that. I leaned in slightly, my voice dropping to a dangerous whisper. You think you're taking my wife, I murmured, watching his smirk falter. You think you can sit in front of me, sign my fucking death warrant, and walk away clean? He hesitated. It's not like that. I moved fast, too fast for him to react. My fist crashed into his jaw with a brutal crack, sending him sprawling into the booth. He grunted, clutching his face, eyes wide in shock. The restaurant went dead silent. A few gasps, a clatter of silverware. She screamed, What the fuck? Are you insane? I stood over him, towering, my voice deadly calm. Get up, I ordered. He groaned, staggering to his feet. Blood dripped from his split lip. You psycho! I hit him again, harder. This time he slammed into the table, knocking over a wine glass, shattering it on the floor. People were staring. A waiter rushed forward. Sir, please, you need to... I turned my glare on him and he froze. Smart move. She grabbed my arm, her nails digging into my skin. Stop it! You're acting like an animal. I yanked my arm free. You threw away 25 years for this. I gestured at the pathetic heap of a man struggling to sit up. For a snake who fucked you behind my back? Her mouth opened and closed, but she had no words, no defense. I wiped my hand on a napkin, then picked up the document she was so terrified of. You thought you were smart, I said coldly. Thought you could betray me and just walk away. I dropped the paper onto the table in front of her. She flinched, and when she read the first few lines, her entire body locked up. Her eyes darted to mine, wide and horrified. You're lying, she whispered. I smirked. Am I? Her hands trembled as she scanned the words again, her breathing shallow, panic crawling into her expression. And then it happened. She screamed. The entire restaurant went dead silent. Her scream wasn't just shock, it was raw, primal fear, the kind that comes when your entire world crumbles in an instant. She clutched the paper in shaking hands, her knuckles white, her breath coming in ragged gasps. No, this isn't real, she whispered, but the way her voice cracked betrayed her. My smirk widened. Oh, it was real, every fucking word of it. Across the table, the bastard groaned, wiping blood from his split lip. What the fuck is going on? He demanded, glaring up at me. I ignored him. He wasn't important anymore. I leaned down, my voice dripping with mockery. What's wrong, sweetheart? I thought you had everything figured out. She didn't respond. She couldn't. Because she had just realized she was fucked. She had planned everything, every fucking detail. The slow emotional withdrawal, the distance, the secret phone calls. She thought she had played it perfectly. She wanted to be free. Free from the life I built. Free from the responsibilities of motherhood. Free from the man who had sacrificed everything for her. I knew her motivations now. I had put the puzzle pieces together. She was bored. The lavish vacations, the mansion, the perfect life. It had become mundane to her. The kind of life only a spoiled woman could take for granted. She craved excitement. Something new. And she thought my best friend, this pathetic fucking traitor, was her ticket out. I saw the truth now, clearer than ever. It wasn't about love. It never was. It was about the thrill of betrayal, about winning, about watching me suffer. She had envisioned this night for months, maybe years, me sitting there, humiliated, broken, begging. She had wanted to see my world collapse the way she thought hers had, trapped in a marriage she had long stopped valuing. But she had miscalculated. Because I wasn't a man who lost, I wasn't a man who begged, and I had made sure that when she left me, she would leave with nothing. I watched her pupils dilate as her mind raced, trying to find a way out of the hell I had just dragged her into. I took my time, enjoying the way her confidence had shattered. Then with deliberate slowness, I spoke. "I know everything," I murmured, my voice cold. "The secret bank accounts, the offshore investments, the assets you've been funneling behind my back." Her lips parted, but no sound came out. The bastard beside her frowned. "What is he talking about?" I chuckled, shaking my head. "Wow, she really didn't tell you. You poor dumb motherfucker." I leaned in, staring straight into her eyes. "You thought you could drain me dry and run off into the sunset," I whispered. "You thought you could take my money, the wealth I built, and disappear with him?" The blood completely drained from her face. "You moved money under your name," I continued, my voice low, lethal. "Thought you were slick, but you forgot something, darling." I tapped my temple. I always think 10 steps ahead. She gasped, her fingers gripping the papers so tightly they crumpled. "You," her voice wavered, "you froze them." I smiled. I didn't just freeze them. I had been tracking her every move for months. The secret accounts, seized, the hidden investments, liquidated, the offshore funds, blocked. She had nothing, not a single fucking cent. Her breath hitched, her body shaking. The bastard finally seemed to realize something was very wrong. He sat up straighter, looking between us. "Wait, what does he mean, froze the accounts? What the fucking is going on?" She turned to him, desperation flickering in her eyes. I can fix this," she stammered. "We just need to—" He pushed her off, his face twisting in rage. "You told me you had money. You said we'd be set." I let out a low chuckle, watching his world collapse along with hers. Oh, this was delicious. I folded my arms, tilting my head. "Guess she forgot to mention she was robbing me before she ran off with you, that all the money was mine." His nostrils flared, his hands clenched into fists. "You fing BH," he growled, shoving his chair back. She gasped. "Baby, please. You used me." His voice rose, fury replacing whatever delusional fantasy he had been living in. I sat back watching the fireworks, let them tear each other apart. She reached for him, but he smacked her hand away, eyes blazing. "I left my wife for you. I threw away everything, and you were playing me this whole fucking time?" I smirked. Oh, now that was interesting. She had been manipulating him too, feeding him the same lies she had fed me once upon a time. The realization hit him like a freight train. He looked at her like she was a stranger. Then, without another word, he turned and stormed out of the restaurant, shoving past onlookers, his face twisted in rage. She was alone, completely, utterly alone. I leaned forward, watching her with pure satisfaction. "Congratulations, sweetheart," I said softly. "You got exactly what you wanted." Her breath came into shallow gasps. Her hands trembled. She looked like she might throw up. And then She did something I didn't expect. She fell to her knees, right there, in the middle of the fucking restaurant. Tears spilled down her cheeks as she clutched at my pant leg, her body shaking violently. "Please," she choked out. "Please, I made a mistake." I gazed down at her, utterly expressionless. A mistake. That's what she called 25 years of my life. I exhaled slowly, then leaned down, just enough for her to hear me. "You told me not to call you," I whispered. "Don't worry, I won't." Then I turned and walked out, leaving her sobbing on the floor, shattered, broken, exactly the way she had planned to leave me. I stepped out of the restaurant into the cool night air, inhaling deeply, letting the tension roll off my shoulders. Inside, my wife, ex-wife, was still on her knees, sobbing, grasping at the scraps of her ruined life, the same way she had planned for me to be tonight. Poetic. I walked toward my car, the weight of finality settling in. But I wasn't done yet. No, this wasn't just about humiliating her. This wasn't just about watching her plans burn to ash. This was about justice, about making sure she felt every ounce of betrayal she had thrown at me. And I had one last card to play. As I pulled out my phone, I smirked. Time for the final fucking nail in her coffin. 2 hours earlier, the moment she handed me those divorce papers, I could already picture how she had planned it all. She thought she was in control, thought she had every detail mapped out. She was wrong, because while she was sneaking around playing her little games, I was watching. I had suspected the affair for months, and once I confirmed it, I did what any intelligent man in my position would do. I got a fucking lawyer, and not just any lawyer, one of the most ruthless, vicious divorce attorneys money could buy. A man whose entire career was built on annihilating cheaters in court. Together, we built a nuclear strategy. See, she thought she had taken everything into account, the house, the kids, the money, but she never considered that I owned every aspect of our life. The house, in my name, the cars, mine, our joint accounts, drained, and the best part? I had proof of her infidelity, photos, texts, video footage, enough to crush her in court. Where we lived, adultery wasn't just frowned upon, it was a financial death sentence. So while she thought she was handing me divorce papers on her terms, what she didn't know was that my lawyers had already filed first. And in this state, that changed everything. By filing before her with proof of her affair, I ensured she wouldn't get a single fucking dime. Not alimony, not assets, not even her jewelry. She was walking away with nothing, but I wasn't just going to win in court. No, I wanted her to feel it. That's why I leaked everything. Present time. I scrolled through my phone, checking the damage, the private group chat with her family, sent, the parent association at our kids' school, sent, the close-knit social circle of women she pretended to be best friends with, sent, photos, screenshots, messages, every dirty little secret she thought was hidden. And now, everyone knew. I wasn't just destroying her financially, I was erasing her reputation. My phone buzzed. I glanced at the screen. Incoming call, son. I exhaled. "Here we go," I answered. "Yeah? Dad, what the fuck did you just send me?" My son's voice was low, dangerous, so much like mine. I smirked. Exactly what it looks like. Silence. Then, "She was cheating." "With him?" "Yeah." A sharp exhale, then something colder. "She was trying to leave us?" I didn't say anything. I didn't have to. He understood. Another pause. Then his voice hardened. "I'll take care of my sister. She's not going to want to see her again." I nodded, even though he couldn't see me. "Good." Another long silence, then softly, "You okay?" I swallowed, feeling something tighten in my chest. My son, my blood. The only thing from this marriage that was real. I sighed. "Yeah, kid, I'm good." A pause, then with quiet fury, "She deserves worse." I grinned. "Oh, don't worry, I'm not done yet." Back inside the restaurant, my wife's phone buzzed violently on the table. Through her tear-filled eyes, she picked it up. Message from Mom. You disgust me. Message from Karen, PTA president. Everyone knows. Don't bother showing your face at school. Message from Bank. Your account has been frozen due to legal action. Her fingers trembled. Her entire world was imploding in real time. She barely registered the whispers around her, the disgusted looks, the judgment, and then finally the message that shattered her completely. Message from son. You're dead to me. Her breath hitched. The phone slipped from her fingers. She let out a soft, choked sob, barely audible. For the first time in her life, she was truly alone. As I drove home, my phone buzzed again. Incoming call, wife. I let it ring. I didn't need to answer. She had made her choice, and now she would live with it. I watched the phone vibrate against the center console. Incoming call, wife, number ex-wife. I let it ring. Then finally, I reached down and tapped the screen. Decline. She had made her bed. Now she could fucking lie in it. The night air was cool against my face as I rolled the window down, the city lights blurring past. My mind was clear, sharp. I had spent months preparing for this moment, and now that it had finally come, there was no sadness, no regret, only satisfaction. Back at the restaurant, she sat in the booth, her head in her hands, her breath shaky. The whispers around her were getting louder. She cheated on him? With his best friend? God, what a disgusting woman. She wanted to scream at them, to tell them to shut the fuck up. But she had no voice, no strength. Her life, her perfect little escape plan, was dead. Her money, gone. Her reputation, destroyed. Her family, lost forever. Her hands shook as she grabbed her phone again, frantically scrolling through her contacts. She needed someone, anyone, her lover. Number. He had walked out on her the moment he realized she was broke. Her parents? They had disowned her within minutes of finding out. Her kids? She hesitated. Her son's words echoed in her mind. You're dead to me. A ragged sob tore from her throat. Her daughter hadn't even responded, just blocked her. No husband, no lover, no family. She was nothing. Meanwhile, I pulled into the driveway, shutting off the engine. The house loomed before me, dark and silent. Ours once, but now, mine. I stepped inside. The scent of home hit me instantly. Wood, leather, the faintest hint of my daughter's vanilla candles. Familiar, grounding. Then I heard it. Soft footsteps padding down the stairs. My son stood there, arms crossed, his jaw tight. He had my eyes, my stance. Behind him, my daughter peeked around the banister, her face pale. For a long moment, we just looked at each other. Then my son spoke. She's really gone? His voice was careful, testing. I nodded. She's gone. A sharp exhale. His fists clenched at his sides. I knew what he was thinking. He had been raised by a mother who had been two-faced his entire life. A woman who had kissed him goodnight while planning to abandon him the moment it was convenient. And now he finally saw her for what she was. Good, he muttered. My daughter swallowed hard. Is she going to try to come back? I shook my head. She has nothing left to come back to. Silence, then cautiously she stepped closer. Dad, are you okay? I looked at them both. They were still here, still mine. My jaw tightened. Yeah, I said, I'm fucking great. And for the first time in a long, long time, I actually meant it. 2 weeks later. She called again today. I didn't pick up. She left a voicemail. I didn't listen. I knew what it would be. Apologies, desperation, begging. She wanted another chance, wanted to talk, wanted me to help her put her life back together. Not my fucking problem. She was staying at a cheap motel now. The luxury apartment she had planned to move into never happened. No money, no security deposit. Her social circle had abandoned her. Women she had called her closest friends now saw her as a liability, a joke, And the bastard she left me for? He had been served with his own divorce papers. His wife had taken everything, including his kids. Poetic justice. I stood on my back porch, a glass of whiskey in hand, staring up at the sky. The past 25 years had been a lie, a joke. But now I was free. The kids were still with me. My company was stronger than ever. And the woman who tried to destroy me, she was nothing more than a bad fucking memory. I took a slow sip, exhaling. My phone buzzed one last time. I glanced down. Block number, one new voicemail. I smirked. Then, without hesitation, I pressed delete and walked back inside.